do every Wednesday. But first, digital marketing is still a mystery to a lot of people. Don't let it be one to your boss, your boyfriend, your in-laws, or your clients. Download my new Essential Digital Marketing Skills Report, and you can get a cheat sheet for how to explain digital marketing to people outside the bubble who have no clue. It's happened to me a lot of times where I've been at a party and my mother-in-law will say, "What is digital marketing?" And I'm like, "Oh, no, what, yeah." And she gets frustrated before I can answer. So I wrote this white paper to save you the heartache of not being able to explain to people what digital marketing is. And also, if you're looking to get into digital marketing so you can understand what it is. And if you're hiring a digital marketer, so you can understand what they should be doing. So you can download this new white paper. I'm going to give you the URL for that. And it has the 12 essential digital marketing skills that you need for 2021 in order of importance. And you can finally explain to your grandpa, your clients, and your boss what a digital marketer does. So I'm putting that in the chat right now. And if you're listening to the podcast, it'll be in the show notes as well. And I want to talk about a new report from TalkWalker. It's the 2021 Social Media Trends Report, which dives into social media marketing strategies that will be most effective in 2021. It's based on interviews with influencers, and they basically researched and asked a panel which of those trends the panel thought would be the most influential. It's an amazing report. You definitely don't want to miss it. And you can download it at ericschwartzman.com/talkwalker. And I'll go ahead and put that in the chat as well. There you are. So the process of creating content, the content marketing process is broken. Creating content that captures and keeps and converts attention into measurable transactions is a discombobulated mess, partly because we got all these tools after we already had a process for creating content. And now we're going to talk today about re-engineering that process so that content optimization is part of the content creation process. So we start thinking about content optimization from the inception. Currently you start by conducting keyword research, then you create content based on the research, then you edit, then you re-edit, then you wordsmith, then you add links, and then you wait for the world to discover it. But what if you could optimize from the get-go? Today we're going to talk to Alexander DeRitter. He is the CTO of Inc., a content optimization platform that uses AI to bring out the best in people and businesses. I got that from your website. It was introduced to me by Sarah Evans. His partner and CEO, Michael Umansky, was on a previous episode of this show, one of our top downloaded shows for the quarter. And I've been testing Inc. with my clients. It's an excellent platform, particularly for writers who have no SEO background. It sort of makes the whole research part of SEO and content optimization invisible. And that's sort of the objective of the company, to enable storytellers to optimize their own content without having to worry about technical SEO. Don't you just hate technical SEO? I do. I'm thrilled to have him with him today for a very special strategy very special session on SEO strategy. Alexander, welcome to the Earned Media Podcast.
Thank you for inviting me.
Now, Alexander, you're from Belgium. It doesn't look like you're in Belgium now. Where are you?
I'm in Texas right now. And in Belgium, I was from Bruges. Wonderful town. Google it.
I saw the movie.
Yes, and it is every bit as beautiful as people say. It's a magical place to grow up.
And now you're in Texas.
Yes, the land of business opportunity.
Is it beautiful in Texas?
It's convenient and the people are wonderful.
Where in Texas are you?
Northeast Houston. It's a forested area. This is funny because when you're from Belgium, there's all these stereotypes what Texas looks like, and everybody remembers the Western movies, and everybody pictures like a desert with cacti and cowboys running around. But it's actually a subtropical, very humid climate, very green, and yeah, again, the people are really warm.
How's the barbecue?
The barbecue is famous here, and it's really good. Yeah.
Cool. Well, listen, let's start with you. So in 5 months, you've used your own product, Ink for All, to grow traffic at your site from less than 2,000 to nearly 200,000 visitors per month. So at a high level, walk us through the strategy that got you there.
Right. It's all reproducible, and it's been reproduced by many people that I've given similar presentation information to. So I'm really excited for your audience. They pay close attention. They can do this for themselves. One of our ink users really took it to heart and grew a website from pretty much new to 1 million organic visitors a month in 10 months time. So it all depends on how big you want to go. But we also have partners, and I believe we're working on new case studies with them, like a new write-up. It's going to be published soon, that are trying to get their feet wet. Some people have been burned on SEO in the past, right? And some people are like, I don't believe in SEO until they see that it works, right? And they would say, hey, let me just try this with just 5 articles or something, and let's follow this process with just 5. I can do this. You can do this. And then they see results, and all of a sudden their SEO traffic doubles, triples, and they're like, oh my gosh, I'm a convert. And so that's the exciting thing. So how did we do this? You asked for at a high level, but
you know what? Take us as deep as you'd like. I'm riveted. So okay. The floor is yours.
So I'm not always good at following directions, and that is like maybe a common trait among marketers is we explore and we push the boundaries. So what I actually did is I put together a bit of a screen share, if I can get screen share permissions. And I broke it down in 7 steps that you guys can follow, because I really want your audience to succeed. All right. Let me know when you can see this.
Yep.
Okay, great. All right, so the first step is for you to focus. That means you need to think about, what do you want to be known for? What are you really good at? And there is a really good reason, a really good SEO reason. It's called Hummingbird. If you're, that's an algorithm name from a Google update. If you're known for everything, you're known for nothing. So when people think Eric, what do they think? What do they think of? What is it that you're the best at? Like, I know some people in the SEO space, they're like, I'm the best at keyword research. Others say like, I'm the best at link building. Others say, I'm the best at local SEO. But if you're a lawyer, you know, I'm the best at, I don't know, truckers who hit your car lawsuits. I'm the best at divorce lawsuits. I'm the best at litigation. So everybody is known for something that they're really good at. And if you don't know yet what you're really good at, you have to like dig deep and ask yourself, like, what do you want to be known for? What are you really passionate about? I like the Japanese concept of ikigai, to find your passion. So a good thing to Google if you're dealing with that. So the idea is that Google rewards websites that stick to what they're good at. So if you're a website about cars and start blogging about pizza recipes, right? You're not going to be topically authoritative for the pizza top stuff, right? So your goal on your site, you should try to be known for something. You can broaden that. Once you win at one thing, you can broaden it. But too many times people fail before they even start because they want a little bit of everything. And so we have to really be able to drill down and figure out what it is that that makes us wake up in the morning, and what we want our audience to find us for. And over here, I listed a few of the tools, my favorite tools to do this, right? And one of my favorite tools for that is just a piece of paper. And you just, whether it is a piece of paper on your wall or just the printing paper, and you and your pencil and you brainstorm, that is step one. And once you know what it is that you want to be known for, it is really important to think of your site in terms of almost like a navigation sitemap, where that is supposed to live. So usually you're going to be wanting to known for one main thing, and then there's a few you could call like subcategories related to that, right? You're going to say like, well, it includes this and this and this. And I want to be known for all these three things because it all like ties together. But it's important to create that structure.
Like if you're an Italian restaurant, in your pizza example, you might serve pizza, you might serve pasta, and then you might have secondis as well.
Right. Or you really want to be known just for your pasta. And that is your real passion, right? And so while other people want to try and rank for the pizza, for all of the pizza and other Italian recipes as well, you're just known for your pasta. And then you break down your pasta into the types of pasta and the different types of ways of preparing it and the pasta history and whatnot. That is really just about the pasta. The more precise you can be, the better your chance of succeeding. Because everybody's competing for attention, and Google only wants the best of anything. So if you're a generalist, you're not going to succeed at SEO, right? You got to be a specialist. And so that requires focus. Then once you focus, you're going to want to organize that. And one of my tools is a mind mapping tool. I will show you here what that can look like. So you basically, I will see if I can group this together. So on our website,
yeah, there we are.
Yeah, on our website, we've got like, we've got tools pages. We're working on persona pages and some others. We're working on a learning center, and then we have our blog. And then our blog, we've got categories as well. And one of our categories is grammar. And then for the grammar, this step comes later. We then find out what keywords we want to target for that. So a really important step for you, this is a high level step at this stage, right? Is for you to like look at your website and think of it in terms of a map. You can do this with paper, but you want to drag it around. You want to add stuff. You want to move stuff. It gets messy. Your eraser starts blotting out, and your paper turns black instead of white. So I really like these mind map tools online. It's not the only one. It's one that I'm using right now. So step 2 is organizing. It's important because users like a logical structure and a logical user experience. You don't want to find a pizza article under a pasta category, right? So you want it to be logical, and you want to think about your site in those terms, like what is a good user experience flow to go logically into related topics. And it's important too when you're having the, have you ever seen that section on your site that says like related articles, you're done reading, but now check out this? Well, what is that? It needs to be something that is horizontal. It needs to be something that is on the same level related to what topic you were in, right? So when you organize your site like that, that will help. By the way, if you use WordPress, I'm just talking about categories and tags here, right? Your tools, CMS, have the tools to implement this in an easy way. But it is important because what I find a lot, Eric, is that when I meet with clients and we're brainstorming keywords, right? First step, they're all over the place. They want everything. No. Let's whittle it down. What it really gets you up. Then they say, well, I now know what I want, and then they're like, their ideas are disorganized. And what does that lead to? Content confusion. Intent confusion. They can have multiple articles about similar things on their site. Google comes and crawls your site and it's like, which of these pages you want me to rank, Eric? They're both about social media marketing. Like, which one is it? Which one is the article you want me to rank? When you allow your site to be not organized, you're going to have your keys sometimes hidden in the sofa, sometimes in the drawer, sometimes somewhere else, and you get lost. Google too. Google is a search engine. It's a crawler. So this is an important step. Okay, these are not hard steps. These are just logical steps and important steps to take. The next one is research. My favorite tool here is Ahrefs. Now, there is a variety of techniques and tools that you can use. One of my favorite ways to find keyword ideas is to look at the competition I want to beat and look at their best keywords. And then just say, hey, I want that traffic. That's one of my favorite ways. I'll show you how you can do that. But yeah, man, feel free to just brainstorm a bunch of words, put them in a keyword tool like Ubersuggest is free, Google Keyword Planner is free, and there's some that don't cost too much money like Keyword Finder. And then if you want all bells and whistles, Ahrefs is my favorite. They also have a trial, like an affordable trial. So you can always like sign up, do the research with this tool. I'll show it to you how it works. So here's Ahrefs. Eric, what would be a competitor that you want to beat? You know, a website? Or imagine a fictitious company that has a fictitious opponent. Doesn't matter.
Trying to think of a good one. Why don't you go with Neil Patel?
All right, Neil Patel.
He's sort of the gold standard.
No problem. So let's look at Neil Patel. All right, so Neil Patel, I just entered his domain name here. He is ranking for 1.3 million keywords and brings in 4 million visitors a month. You can see his ascent to glory. And you can see here the moments in time he got serious about his SEO. Once upon a time, in January 2018, Neil Patel did something that causes traffic to go from 600,000 visitors a month to 1.8 million visitors a month within a month. And that likely is going to be an acquisition where he merged the content of another site into his own site, by the way. But then you see a steady incline. And then you can see here in 2020, he's been really busy. And you can see the incline of his traffic has been like it's been much faster. It's been kind of flat since his acquisition of that property and merging. But then he's like really starting to trend upwards. So he took his site from 2.7 to 4 million visitors a month. So that indicates a content strategy, right? That is really planned well and executed well. So one of the things that you can do is you can click on his keywords and we can see what that looks like. You can here see what his keywords are. And you can see his top traffic comes from Ubersuggest. Ubersuggest is his free SEO tool where you can look up keywords and look at your competitors. You could call it Ahrefs Ultra Light, like Coke Zero. It's like Ahrefs Zero. No carbs, no sugar.
You know, it doesn't really make him a good competitor. I could give you someone else if you want, or we could just continue to do this.
Well, you can do some stuff. here you can go to exclude, and I can exclude from the keywords anything that is a branded keyword. And I typically do that. So I will type in Uber suggest, Uber space suggest. I know somebody in my company who is going to watch this is going to be, hey, Alexander, you forgot your filters. You can use stars and regular expressions or whatnot. Can't think of all of them in real time and don't want to mess up in front of a live audience. So I'm just going to type it out. Okay. I'm going to do here, Neil Patel. All right. I did a few. And what you're going to see is that I just filtered out many. I forgot about Uber suggest. I'm sorry. But here you start seeing some of his top non-branded keywords. So in this, I'm going to just teach your audience one technique. Okay. On this call. So here we are looking at an interesting competitor, right? And we look at their site. We then click on this here. We go and see all of their keywords. We click on keywords. We uncheck URLs and just leave keywords. We hit apply, and then we type in the branded keywords to exclude that. Why do we do that? Is because you're not going to rank for Uber suggest. You're not more relevant than the actual tool. You're not more relevant than Neil Patel. So we leave those out. What it leaves us with is a very interesting picture of his top non-branded keywords. His best keyword is affiliate marketing, and it brings him a whopping 15,000 visitors a month. Just that one article. Now we're talking, right? So from here, what I would do is I would hit export, and you can export 1,000 rows or 20,000 rows, whatever your plan allows. And I would put it in a spreadsheet, and then I would use a filter, and it would filter based on some metrics. Some things that we're looking for. I think I'm running ahead. So yeah, let's do this. We're in step 4, spreadsheets. So after Ahrefs has given us a whole list of keywords. We're going to go to spreadsheets. By the way that we did it for our site is we looked at the top 20 competitors we want to crush, and we compiled all their keywords and put them all in one spreadsheet. So you can do this for as many competitors as you want. And what you do is you look at the keywords that your competitor ranks for that are also within your focus area. So you resist the temptation. And let's say you find new ideas. That's great. Add them to your mind map. Add a new node here and say, hey, future idea. And then you can prioritize. So what do you do in the spreadsheet phase? Well, I'll give you the exact things to look at. Sun Tzu your competition. Know your opponent. You do not need to fear the outcome of 1,000 battles. How do you know your opponent? Well, let's take a look here. First of all, volume. Volume is how many people a month search for this thing. Wow, 270,000 people search for the term SEO. That's wonderful, right? Right? Oh, wait a minute. Keyword difficulty is 95. Good luck ranking for that, Eric. Maybe someday. So keyword difficulty, it is something that I would say if you're just starting out, only go after keywords that are 30 or below. It's a good rule of thumb. If you build up your site and start conquering keywords that are 30 difficulty or below, and you're ranking #1 for Google, you're going to have some really good traffic. You're going to have ROI. Then you can start aiming a bit higher. But first, prove yourself. It's like learn to walk before you run. You know what I mean? So what I would do is I would at keywords that have a high volume, as high as possible. So I would typically sort by volume and have a keyword difficulty under 30. Then I will look at commercial viability. And this is important because Many times I see clients or users write about key phrases that they have no way of converting. You have to think, why am I writing this? Why are you writing content on your site? You want people to do something, right, Eric? Maybe listen to your podcast, join your email list.
Yes, definitely.
Right. So a cost per click indicates how much your competitors are paying to get that click through means of paid advertising. Can give you an idea of the value that keyword brings to you. So if Neil Patel gets 15,000 visitors a month, and that word affiliate marketing is worth $6 a click, then the traffic replacement value is 15,000 times $6. So $90,000. Yeah. So $90,000 a month, he would have to pay to Google AdWords plus campaign management fees to get this traffic for that keyword through paid means. Now, if affiliate marketing was your thing, and that was the thing that you really want to be known for, I would say like go for it, right? But here's where you have to be really disciplined. You're the pasta guy. I know pizza has a lot of visitors, but go after your pasta keywords. If you want to do them later, add them to your mind map. All right, so this is how you qualify. Then you need to create a project plan. And how did we create a project plan? I'll show you an exact project plan on what we did as an example. Okay, so here's a tool that I like for creating like flow charts and stuff. Again, there's many. This one is called Lsi Chart. Again, you can do this on paper as well. But we decided to make 64 writing tips and grammar related posts targeting competitors' most lucrative SEO blog posts. Our persona was content writers. We're targeting it with these 64 keywords. We targeted 12 million searches a month, search volume. That was the sum of these 64 articles. The average keyword difficulty was 24. The competitors' average position for these keywords was 2.5. All of that is from Ahrefs. The competitor on these 64 articles is pulling in 700,000 visitors a month. And we see that kind of as the upper limit potential for us, because since they are the best, we say like this investment could ultimately, if we beat them, yield that value to us. And that keyword value was $700,000 a month. Our conversion mechanism is important. Write your best web copy with ink. So the idea was people search for spelling and grammar mistakes. They're likely to be writers, content writers. And on the page where they learn about how to spell that correctly, we're saying, hey, wait a minute. You want to write good web copy and not have to worry about these things? Write with our software. So that's our conversion mechanism. You see, we have a project plan that is creating content with purpose. And then I estimated the cost, the time for executing the project, and predicted the outcomes. The outcomes typically, I have just, there's a simple rule of thumb. Again, what you do is you look at the top 10, right? And you look at your competitors, how strong their websites are, and then you look at what traffic you can expect if you were in spot 4, 5, or 6. And tools like Keyword Finder and Ahrefs can really like give you that information. I don't think we have time to go into too much of that detail right now, but basically what I do here is I like a decent project plan. I say what I'm investing in, what is my outcome. My goal was to grow my domain rating, grow my backlinks, my organic traffic to 40,000 a month from 1.5 in 3 months and to 200,000 a month by the end of the year. So this project was, the inception was in May. We started executing in June. And you can see here, this here is not an actual traffic drop. It was Ahrefs refreshing a search volume database. But you see right now, we're close to hitting our end of year goal. And our keywords are still going up. We have, right now, we've got 13,500 page one keywords. So, and you can here see when, this would be when I was making that plan, there were almost no visitors. We started publishing in July, and then you can just see like from here to here in 1 month, 10 times traffic. Then from here, like whatever, a lot. So from less than 2,000 to almost 200,000 in half a year. And this is according to the projections too. So then what you do is you figure out like what is all involved with it, the execution. In this particular case, I actually have something I can share with your audience. So on our webpage, Ink for All, you can go to the bottom here and click on press. And here you can see the case study. So we have the case study right here that describes how we partnered with crowd content to actually achieve that. This shows the results from 1 month. Of course, the success story is continuing after that. Why did we work with crowd content? It's because at Ink, we are building an AI-powered editor to write your content, right? And optimize your content for Google. It is a more powerful story we can tell if we can say somebody else that is not us, wrote the content in our software, scored high, we published it, and look at these results. Because now I can tell you with a straight face, Eric, you go hire these people and do it yourself. You can do this. If I told you that I wrote the content myself, you'd be like, yeah, you held something back. Your technology may be good, but you know a lot about SEO, Alexander. We thought it'd be more powerful. So we figured out how much everything was going to cost. And then it's important to look at the next step, the execution, right? So this is now what we're going to talk about. In the execution. So at this point, many people jump straight into execution and skip the first 5 steps. What would you have missed? You would have written about all kinds of things that are not relevant, that don't make you a topical authority. Your site structure would be disorganized and leave users confused. If they like on your blog, they don't have like a clear structure to a theme with what you're writing. You would focus the wrong keywords or just write articles without keywords in mind. You would target keywords that are too difficult for you to win because you're punching above your weight class. And then you would start writing without the proper technology to actually help you please the Google search algorithm, right? And that would be, you would be writing without ink. It would be your next mistake. So this is why so many people fail. 91% of all content does not get any search traffic. 91%. So imagine you have employees, you pay them, right? But only 9% of the time you pay them, they're actually doing something that makes value for the business. That wouldn't be very efficient use of your employees. So the same way, creating content without skipping those steps is a huge waste of time. You have to know what you're doing. Now, once you figured out what you want to do, this is where the market falls in a deep black hole. There are a lot of tools for SEOs that can help you with keyword research, right? But what do you do once you know what you want to rank for? You give it to a great content writer. But the great content writer does not know SEO. They're not a marketer. They're a great writer. And so there was a missing piece of the puzzle in the market. And so this is where we're going to go into Ink more in detail later. But essentially, we created a free editor that your audience can download at inkforall.com. You enter your keyword and you just start writing. As you write, I'll give a demo later with with some content that you want. But it's going to score your content. It's going to tell you how to win and how to please the Google search algorithm. And then also you have the final. Well, I'll tell you one more thing. Foundation, authority, intent, FAI. Those are the three things how you win. The three ways you can win. Foundation just means that it's all about user experience. So don't make people wait 20 seconds for your content to load. It doesn't matter how good your keyword research is. It doesn't matter how good your content is. If it takes 20 seconds to load, people are gone. They're not going to wait around, right? Your spaghetti can be the best in the world, but nobody's going to wait 2 hours to get it out to the table, right? Nobody's going to make excuses for a rude waiter. So the foundation matters. Authority is something I would say it deals with your domain authority, but don't force it. Like forced link building is not going to get you great results. You don't really need to worry about it. The only thing you got to worry about when it comes to your domain authority is this: write great content that's not too difficult to rank for. So if you keep your keyword difficulty, if you're starting, you keep your keyword difficulty under 30, you're not punching above your weight class. And a new site can rank for keyword difficulty 30. A medium site can rank for keyword difficulty below 30. So you're fine. But great content is going to be getting organic links. It's the best content on the web. People are going to want to link to it. So over time, your authority is going to grow naturally. And I would say that Google has gotten very, very good, Eric, at knowing when something happened organically and something was forced. You're not necessarily going to be punished, but it's going to be a waste of your money. You're gonna pay somebody to build links, and Google's going to figure out that those links are not really valuable. It's not going to move the needle. In the worst case scenario, the links are toxic and they bring your site down. So the most important thing about the authority is making sure you don't punch above your weight class. And then intent, it's all about the content, right? And I'm going to define intent as if you try to rank for a certain key phrase, what would make your audience say, this is the best answer? This is exactly what I wanted. This is engaging, fun, informational, complete. I love this, right? So that is what intent is about. And Ink for All can help you uncover that. We can help you tell what reading grade level to write for, what topics to include, how to, what style to write in. We do all the competitive research to find out content that already ranks really high. That's the DNA. That's the DNA that they have in common.
And we'll actually bring it up on the screen
right.
in just a moment here. I do want to ask some follow-up questions, but first I want to say every company has a website, which means every company is in the media business because a website is digital media. And the experience people have on a website directly impacts your reputation. I'd say it shapes your perception of that company or brand. When I go to a website that has, it's hard to use or loads slow, my impression of the brand is that they're out of date or they're going to be difficult to work with because they're not agile. So if you are an entrepreneur or you're in marketing or PR, you're a non-technical person and you need an easy way to keep your website current, check out IPR software. It's a super easy digital reputation management platform that you can use without writing code. And there's a special offer for Earned Media Podcast listeners. If you tell them you heard about them on the Earned Media Podcast, they'll give you the first month free. And you can find out more information at ericschwartzman.com/IPR software. And I put a link in the chat as well. So let me ask you some follow-ups on your demo. The first thing I want to ask about is WordPress categories and tags. So
Sure.
in terms of categories, Some people say, you really should only have one category and you can have multiple tags, but you don't want to confuse the category. What's your feeling on that?
Well, in the context of what I was sharing, think about it more in terms of your navigation, of your site navigation. How do people navigate to find your content? How many levels
Well,
deep
let me
is
give you an
it?
example. Okay. So you're an Italian restaurant and you're going to do a post about your holiday dinner. It's a special pre-fee menu holiday dinner. It's going to have pasta and it's going to have pizza and it's going to have a secondie. What category do you tag it in? Do you set up a separate category? Do you put it in pasta? Do you put it in pizza? Or do you put it in both?
All right. So in this case, you might want to tag it. Tag it as different in category. You may want to tag it with what's in the holiday menu, but it might logically live under holiday specials straight from the homepage in a section that only lives there for the duration of the holidays, so that consumers don't have to, your customers don't have to search too deep in your website to find the thing that's most relevant to them. If I come to your site during the holiday period, a very high chance I'm looking for a holiday deal. I come during Black Friday, I might look for gift cards that give me like an extra 10% that I can stack up on during Black Friday. So don't hide that too deep in your menu. This is why I'm saying, like, really think through your site structure with a mind map. And yeah, while you may tag that post, I'm less concerned about the exact use of categories and tags. I'm more concerned with how deep is it in your site? What is the crawl depth on your to get to that valuable content?
Okay, awesome. Now here's a scenario I'll bet you've been in before, because before you launched Inc., you were at Edgy Labs, which I know is an SEO firm that does SEO for clients. So client comes to you and they're all over the place. I mean, it's totally a disorganized site. They got a ton of content, all this great content, but it's poorly organized and it's all over the place. And you're coming in and you're telling them, hey, you got to focus, you got to really frontline what it is you want to rank for. What are you going to do? Are you going to remove those other posts, or how are you going to deal with this?
But one thing you can do is you measure what works and what doesn't work. If you have entire sections of the site that bring in no value, then they're just siphoning off authority from the other pages. So you might consider removing sections of the site that are completely not performing. But let's say that your site is a mixed bag and it performs somewhat, right? Then the best thing that you can do is just identifying, again, start with focus. What is the most valuable thing to your business? What is the site section that if optimized or if improved would yield the best ROI? And then start with that, segment that section of the site off and start with optimizing the content that is already there. Load up the existing content, put it in ink, optimize it for your keyword, republish it, and get ROI right away. Once you tackle that first category, then go to the next most valuable
Cool.
thing.
So let's do
until
it.
you
Okay.
finish.
Let's show everyone how to do it. So I'm going to share my screen here. And here I am in my WordPress. And you can see I've got the Ink plugin installed already because there's this little pink dot here. And so the pink dot lets me download a post from WordPress and move it in to Ink. And so I have this post here, which is an interview with Andy Crestodina from Orbit Media that was doing really, really well towards the beginning of the year, but it lost its mojo. So I thought we would pull that down. I'll give you the keyword and you can walk me through how I might improve it. So first I just click here. Yeah, I've never done this before, Alexander. So I just click here.
You know what they say about live demos, right?
All right, so there it is right there. So now let's go into Ink for All and we'll open it. So I'm going to go, this is Ink.
You can just, you should be able to click the Ink file and it should open it.
On itself?
Yeah, it should. I can't see the bottom part of your screen. Yeah, there you go.
So, okay, so it actually moved it in. It did put the headline URL in there. I'll just remove that. And I know that the SEO keyword that I want to rank, let me go to my master calendar here and grab it. The Andy Crestodina. Here it is. It's content marketing tips for PR is the keyword. So let's grab that keyword and we'll put it in here as the phrase. And now Inc. is going to, what is it doing here? Explain to us what Inc. is doing.
Yeah, it's first of all, it's looking at Google. Then it's looking at all of the articles in Google first page, second page, and so forth. Then it is reading those articles. Then it is processing those articles with AI, similar to how Google BERT model works, figures out what they're all about, and then finds out the DNA, what they have in common. Why are these articles ranking higher than the other ones that are not? And then it's combining that insight into an AI data model. It's doing the same thing for your content, your article that you write. In real time, it updates too. And then it compares the two models to find out what you're missing. That all happens in the background. And you are just given the recommendations. So very easy to act on. Recommendations are presented to the user.
So Alexander, because we don't have that much time left, I want to focus on the SEO side of things.
Okay.
I know that I can go into the into the spelling and the grammar side, and I can improve the content there. We actually looked at that in the time when we had Michael Umansky, your partner, the CTO of Inc. on the show. And I'll have a link to that episode in the show notes for this podcast if you missed that. But here I am. And so I'm going to go into this relevant topics here because I'm really interested in this.
We're not seeing it. We're just seeing the other Inc. window that is blank. Yeah, there you go.
Sorry about that. So here I am.
Yeah, so you're looking at an Inc. Pro feature that, in addition to scoring how relevant your text is, to basically it's to make Google happy, right? But in addition to that, it's going to show you what topics you can include to make your text more relevant.
So this is a lot of topics, Alexander. Do I have to do them all? How do I know which ones are important?
The most important ones are always prioritized near the top.
Okay.
And this one, you can include things related to PR 10 more times. And if you click on PR, you will also see different entities that are related or ideas that are related to PR. And then as you click any of the bubbles, you can see the words that your competitors have used to express that. So they're like digital PR campaign, digital PR strategy. And then if you click on any of the topics, you can then see context where you can see the text of how your competitors wrote about it. And there's arrows as well where you can click through. If you click on source, you go straight to their website where you can see that text snippet where it came from. These are just there as a source for inspiration for you so that you don't have to guess.
Let me ask you, so just so I'm clear on this, if it says, let me go back to the top screen. So if it says 10 plus, that means I should use that 10 times. It's a density recommendation.
Right. It's different than saying use this keyword 10 times. It's saying use this topic 10 times. So this is an important, aspect. I know you had some questions around LSI keywords and so forth. That's not how Google works anymore. Okay. LSI is like the training wheels for search engines. Google's evolved way beyond it. And so we recognize that in our application, it's not about the exact word you use. It's about, are you idea complete? If somebody searches for content marketing tips for PR, are you idea complete? So what we're saying here is write more about PR, write more about publisher. And and then it gives you examples of how your competitors wrote about it. So it gives you that kind of insight through real world examples.
So then in order to get my score up into the 90s, how deep down this list do I need to go?
It updates in real time. So you just start with the ones on top and see if you get closer, and work your way down the list. And by the way, including terms themselves are not going to make your content more relevant. The topics are there as a way so you don't have to guess so much. You don't have to guess what you may be missing. If you click on the back arrow, click there, you can go over the different segments. So you're now at 83, right? If you look at word tasks, you can improve by 3%, document tasks by 4%. If you do those two things, you already can get close to 90. If you're like, hey, I got most of that done maybe on WordPress or something, I got my meta over there, and I want to improve my topical relevance, my relevance. I have 10% opportunity there. So this is going to give you an opportunity to make your text more relevant in the eyes of Google. What this is saying is that you have a 10% opportunity for improvement by making it more relevant for what people are looking for when searching for content marketing tips for PR.
And then how can a tool like this help me create cornerstone content?
Great. So your cornerstone content would be you look at your mind map, it's the parent. It would be the pasta page. That's your cornerstone content. And so your cornerstone content has a key phrase that is a bit more general, and your sub content is more specific. So again, you just enter your key phrase for your cornerstone content in Inc. and let Inc. tell you how to optimize for it.
In terms of this concept of, or strategy rather, SEO strategy of creating a content hub, can you use WordPress categories to create content hubs, or do you really need a more sort of creative web page to be the home page for a content hub?
Yeah, a content hub is a section on your website that is really all about one thing. That's really focused on and really dives deep on something. Let's say you create a content hub on social marketing and a content hub around SEO marketing and so forth. But then everything in that hub relates to that. So it goes back to your mind map. And yes, you can use WordPress. We use WordPress. You can use categories inside of each hub.
Do you say one category per post, or is it okay to put a post in multiple categories?
No, one post can have multiple categories, but one post should only multiple tags, but should only belong to one category.
Got it. Yeah. So I have a ton of case studies on my blog on crisis communications. Really great ones, like with, people who were in the eye of the storm, talking about what they went through. I have the person who was the mutual, I think it was Mutual, I forget the name of the bank, but there was a bank that melted down, Mutual Funds or Mutual something or other. I've got, Army ones, I've got government ones. If I wanted to create a sort of crisis communications hub on my site, I already have a category. How would I do that?
Yeah. So your homepage, first thing you see on your homepage is, I am known because I know crisis communication. This is central to me. You're right. here, click here, and you go to a landing page that is only about crisis communication. And then you give users the choice, and do you want to know what is crisis communication? Watch or listen to my podcast here. Do you want to see case studies, right? Click
So you
here.
can't really do that with categories. You do have to have a page. Now let's ask something else. So I know that the way Inc. is set up, it integrates with posts. But you know, in WordPress, you have two types of content. You've got both posts and then you also have pages.
Yes.
Can you use Inc. with pages as well?
Yeah, nothing stops you from writing your content inside of Inc. and then pasting it into WordPress or exporting it to HTML or whatnot. The only thing is that a post in the way it is in WordPress, it has a lot of dynamic HTML and not like a section, say this is the text. So exporting from WordPress into from a page to an Inc. file is challenging because every HTML is different and you can't necessarily pull out the content you want. So enter your keyword in Inc., optimize your content, and then paste it in your page, however your structure of your page is, because you know pages are more dynamic than posts. You know, they're not monolithic blocks of content. They're a little bit here, a little bit there. It's just a practical way of how easy or hard it is to extract the content is actually relevant. For example, you don't want us to pull the content from the sidebar. That's not really what your post is about. But
So, often after I do these interviews, I re-listen to them over again because I can't get all the knowledge from a guy like you in an hour. So if you're on the call and you want to subscribe to the podcast, I've just posted a link where you can do that. Then you'll get emailed the file once it goes up. I want to thank you. We just scratched the surface. I didn't even get through the questions, but I'm really grateful to you for walking us through your process. If you're in marketing or PR and you're looking to grow your market share through earned, owned, or shared media, again, you can download the TalkWalker 2021 Social Media Trends Report at ericschwartzman.com/TalkWalker. If you're responsible for managing your brand's online reputation, you can get a month free of IPR software at ericschwartzman.com/IPR software. Next Wednesday, we have Christine Hall. She's the contributing writer at Crunchbase News, which covers all things tech startups and tech financing. And what's really interesting is Crunchbase News is one of the sources that Google uses for its knowledge base. So it's a great place to score news coverage. So I hope you'll join us next week for that. And then the week after that, we're closing up the year with none other than David Pogue, who was a New York Times weekly tech columnist for over 10 years. He's a 5-time Emmy Award winner, best-selling author, TED speaker, and the host of 20 Nova Science specials on PBS. And he's going to talk to us about his new book and where he sees technology headed. Again, to subscribe to this podcast, go to ericschwartzman.com/earned media. And Alexander, thank you so much for taking the time to join us.
Anytime. So if anybody wants to chat more, go to Inc. for All. There's a chat bubble there, and somebody of my team can get in touch, can get you in touch with me. Also, you can get me on LinkedIn. I'll be happy to answer some more questions. I hope
Awesome.
I really hope that, we built this software because there's a huge need and really hope that can make a difference. And if you want to get access to the pro beta, the topic feature that you showed to your audience, I can hook you up to your audience. So just ask the live chat, say, hey, I found you out on Eric's podcast. Can I try this out? While the beta is still live, you can jump on it. So give those features a try.
It's an awesome tool. I would highly recommend taking them up on it. It's definitely helped me quite a bit and my clients. So, hey, everybody, thanks so much for joining us, and we'll see you next Wednesday.